Welcome to this class on financial therapy. I'm Dr. Megan McCoy. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist who discovered financial therapy, I would say around 2008, so right at the beginning of the discipline, and really became passionate about it. So I'm very excited to teach this course. I am located all the way down in South Carolina, but I'm available anytime by appointment to either Skype or FaceTime or even just talk on the phone about any questions or concerns you may have. This week's presentation is going to be just introducing the course and talking about financial therapy in general. I really want this class to be collaborative and discussion based. I'm not giving any quizzes or tests because my focus is less on the material you'll learn. You'll have other classes that will be more focused on giving you tangible techniques for financial therapy. Mine is more about exploring this profession and figuring out how it's going to work for you and how it's going to look for you. I think the best way that happens is through dialogue. So most of your points will be coming from your discussion board posts. You'll have to post once on the readings and questions you may have, or how you can see this applying to your practice, or things you wish they'd gone into more details about, or things you're confused by. But more importantly, you then have to respond to someone else's post and really start a dialogue around the topics to make it develop. And then we'll go into those posts in our weekly meetings on Wednesdays. Like I said, there's going to be no quizzes or tests, but there will be 3 papers. They're all pretty short. The first one's 2 to 3 pages. The next 2 are 3 to 4. I do want you guys to use APA formatting because I think it's a good skill to have. And hopefully you will all publish in the Journal of Financial Therapy one day because we're always looking for new authors and new perspectives. Okay, and then the rest of this presentation is going to be on what's financial therapy, defining financial therapy, and reviewing some basic financial planning skills. So why financial therapy? The biggest thing is that couples and individuals in counseling sessions describe financial stress, emotional relationships with money, or conflict around money. In addition, planners, financial coaches, I know there's a lot of different terms for all the different financial advisors, but all of them in some studies have reported that they've seen couples displaying relational stress in session, or like in instances with estate planning, they'll see that there's grief coming up, or in budgeting, they'll see unhealthy spending behaviors. All these things are emotions around money that they're not really trained for. And so that's why financial therapy. Another reason financial therapy is so important is that fights about money are just nasty. They tend to last longer, they're more intense, they are more likely to end in physical violence. Money is also the main reason for divorce, quoted in many divorce filings. In addition, there's been some studies that found that couple stress can negatively impact the couple's financial well-being, meaning that the more a couple fight, their finances tend to be worse. That might be because there's no shared future planning of what they want in the future. So why you're saving money for retirement so you guys can travel together. Who wants to travel with someone they're fighting with? Even anecdotally, I've heard, and this is just an anecdote, but in couple sessions, what I've had in financial therapy, oftentimes the wife has quoted that we had a fight and then I went out shopping to blow off steam or to feel better. So there seems to be like a circular causality between couple satisfaction and financial stability. Another reason this class and financial therapy are so important is that mental health professionals are not trained in finances. There's few, if any, programs that devote trainings or courses in the money. There was a study about 6 years ago that studied all social work clinical master programs and all marriage and family therapy master programs, and only one out of the hundreds of programs had any courses on money. And we all know that financial planning is not a requirement in college. I mean, I had to take antiquities and swimming in college, but not how to balance my checkbook. Another training issue is that financial planners aren't taught to deal with emotions or cognitions You guys might talk about estate planning in your classes when you're training, but you're not going to talk about how to deal with grief or how to process that pain or how to listen when they're hurting. So despite the overlap between finances and mental health, both financial and mental health practitioners are just simply lacking the skills to help their clients. So the possible solutions are this class in financial therapy. So what is financial therapy? Well, it was created in 2008 as a way to integrate treatment components of mental health with techniques and processes from financial professions. The first meeting, as I said, was in 2008. A couple of like-minded mental health and planning professionals. And I'm saying financial planners, but it could be financial counselors, financial mental coaches. I'm just lumping it in together. But anyway, they met in 2008 and talked about how great of an idea it was. And the association and journal was created. And then in 2014, y'all started the certificate in financial therapy, the biggest, in my mind, step toward it becoming authentic practice and approach to treatment. Goals of financial therapy are helping couples increase couples communication, strengthening relationship stability, decreasing financial stress, increasing financial management skills, and creating an economic locus of control. As we see, the goals are both in terms of mental health and actually practicalities of finances. The problem is that there's a lot of differences in financial planning coaching models than there are from therapy. Here are just some of them, but you can imagine, in my mind, one of the biggest issues is that in therapy, I'm always trying to get fired. I'm always working towards my client not needing me anymore. Whereas in the planning approaches, usually it's a lifetime of a relationship. You want to stay with them through through all their saving for retirement and then throughout all their spending in retirement. Um, in terms of how we talk to each other, how we support each other, all these are going to be slightly different. And so merging the two feels a little bit more complicated than it sounds. What complicates matters even further is there's lots of ways of doing financial therapy. There's a referral model where the practitioner is simply doing financial therapy alone. So, for instance, when I do financial therapy, it tends to be the referral model now because I'm working in private practice where I am working within my means of knowledge. So I'm not getting insurance advice or stock advice, but helping with spending plans and budgeting, things that I'm capable of doing. And then if I get to an issue that's too big, like a couple getting close to bankruptcy, I will refer to the financial planners that I am close to in the field. Then there's this model of parallel practice where you start with your counterpart at the same time. So both a mental health professional and a financial professional are working at the same time. There's a lot of communication. You're working towards common goals. You're just doing it in two separate rooms at two separate times. Then there's consultative, which is really probably how financial therapy started, which is when one practitioner would call in another one every once in a while to help. So if you were a financial planner and you get to estate planning and you know one of the clients just lost a parent and estate planning is bringing up a lot of their own sense of mortality, their own grief, you might bring a mental health professional in for the estate planning sessions to help with things. And then finally, there's integrative, which I was lucky to do at the beginning of my practice at University of Georgia, where I got to do sessions with a financial planner in the room, and we worked together on financial therapy. I actually approached a financial therapy with some of my colleagues based on my experiences of doing integrative financial therapy. So financial therapy really could be the possible antidote to this bidirectional relationship between money and either emotional distress or marital distress that's found in the research. That was a quick overview of financial therapy. Now we're going to move into the review of financial planning. This graphic shows the basic financial planning process that was developed by the CFP. First, we want to establish and define the client-planner relationship, then gather client data, including goals, analyze and evaluate their current financial status, develop and present the plan or recommendations, then implement the plan, and then monitor the financial plan. This sounds very simplified, and it is. Planning has a huge, vast scope. There's you have to know about insurance, investment, tax, retirement, estate, and honestly, most will specialize. Most financial planners, financial coaches, and financial advisors specialize into insurance agents or investment advisors, or at least refer out when the plan requires more specialization or has more complex activities. I think it's important to know that no matter what your training in financial planning is, there's certain things that we should be able to advise our clients on. For instance, I would blow your mind if I told you how many of my financial therapy clients did not know they were eligible for a free credit report and a free credit score every year and had no idea of how to attain those. Being able to give them the two free and safe websites, annualcreditreport.com and www.creditkarma.com, is essential. And then another thing I find clients who have a lot of strain or stress around money have difficulties is even tracking their spending. So giving things like mint.com or creditcards.com to just track where is their money going can be life-changing for some of my clients. I remember one grad student that I worked with was so strapped for cash, and it blew her mind when she signed up for mint.com on how much money she spent a month on coffee. And just by starting to make her coffee at home and getting a Yeti, she was able to save enough money to really loosen the stress of finances on her. So even just giving your clients these skills are so important. In my mind, if you're not trained in financial planning, the best skills you can give to your clients is budgeting interventions, helping them figure out what they're spending their money on and what they want to spend their money on. So setting up savings or retirement plans. A lot of the times, so much help I think is in reframing money management for clients. Instead of saying budget, using spending plans. Instead of saying saving money, saying saving for a trip. Things like that can be really helpful. I also find that automatic bill pays to get rid of those charges for late payments has helped my clients a lot. Finding out if they're signed up for any of those stupid monthly services like Audible.com is a big one that my clients end up having. So getting them to like look through their monthly statement and seeing like, am I spending 99 cents a month on Apple storage when I don't need it? Am I spending $3 a month on this or that or whatever? It can be really beneficial even if you're not trained in financial planning overall. If you are a mental health professional rather than a financial planner, I found in my practices book, Surviving Debt, really helped me discover new ways of having healthy financial practices that I was able to apply to my clients' lives and also some to my own life. So if you don't get enough of this class or your other classes you're taking on financial planning skills, I really do recommend this book. So we've gone over the basics to financial therapy, the very basics to financial planning, and you've had some great readings due this week on both areas. So I would just love if you would write a 2 to 3 page thought paper on financial therapy. What do you think your biggest obstacles would be in doing financial therapy? Do you have concerns around the ethics of financial therapy, the fee schedule, your own competencies? What do you want to learn from this course to feel more capable of doing financial therapy? And then anything else you want to include in this general realm. I'm going to read these papers and use it to kind of direct our class for the rest of the semester. Anyway, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys in our first class. And like I said before, email me if you have questions or if you want to set up an individual appointment with me, and I'll be there for you. Thanks.